community with a small population. In September 2020, I visited this community to check on the progress of work on the Pwalugu multipurpose dam after serious floods again occurred that year. The contractors for the dam project, Sino Hydro, had set up a campsite here at Kojo. It was a fenced property on about 2 plots of land. Inside were several containers which I was told housed equipment and other valuables belonging to the contractors. This is August 2022. I returned to Kojo, to the exact same spot, and the campsite has completely disappeared. The place was very secure. There was a gate and there was a security guard, and even some workers who were here making sure that the equipment that they had here were all intact. Today we have returned and everything that was here before is all gone. This place is completely deserted except for some blocks that are packed. There's also some chippings and basically debris of what is left after everything that was here has been moved. There is nothing left here to see as far as the contractor who was here is concerned. The chief of Kojo, Adams Suleimana, tells Joy News he was informed by the contractors that they removed the campsite because the area was getting flooded.
When they conveyed the things to another place, they told us that they will come back when dry season, because they have a tower which they measure for the water. When the water is up to that level, then they will be here. It was due to the water, so they have to convey their things. When it is getting to dry season, when the water goes down, then they will come and continue.
However, at the time of my visit, there were no signs of flooding at the area where the campsite once stood. But what more work has been done here at Kojo as far as the Pwalugu multipurpose dam project is concerned?
When the contractor came, they said people who are around that area, the flooded area, will be compensated with their farmlands. They even stopped them their pictures and gave them some papers, documents, and they even signed. And some people were completed, and they have a copy with them, and they send the other copy to the national level. It came to a time and people were employed for the site.
We also spoke to some residents and farmers here in Kojo who witnessed the presence of the contractors and the kind of work they did.
So the only thing that we can witness is that they just dig a hole. They just dig it and remove some soil. So after they test the soil and everything, they told us that there is some problems they want to settle before they continue their work. So when they pack the things and go, they haven't come back again.
Because when they came, they employ almost 1,000 people to work with them. Some of them were doing computer work, and some of them were doing manpower. You just use your energy, dig the ground to the level that they want, and they will pay you.
The road from the Kojo community to the campsite was bulldozed by the contractors to make it more accessible. Similar work was done on the road linking Kojo to the Pwalugu town. And that is all about the work done here on the Pwalugu multipurpose dam project so far. Next, we go to Saraba, another community in the West Mamprusi municipality of the Northeast region. Here, we find these apartments, which were put up to be used as accommodation for the contractors and staff of the Ghana Irrigation Development Authority. Our checks revealed that all this was being done in preparation to kick off the irrigation component of the Pwalugu multipurpose dam project. However, 3 months into this project, funding from the government stopped coming. Therefore, the contractor moved his equipment to go work on another project in Kumasi. It is unclear at the moment when he will return to site. The people of Pwalugu, Kurugu, and many other communities in the Upper East and Northeast regions know the impact the Pwalugu multipurpose dam project will have on their economic lives.
When they construct the dam, we will benefit it because it will help us to farm after the rainy season. That's the dry season. So we are just waiting them to come and do the dam for us, so that after the flooding and we harvest our beans, we can still farm the vegetables.
The Pwalugu multipurpose dam project is a huge one and will benefit these people and thousands more if the government were to succeed in executing it. But according to Professor David Miller, there are many bottlenecks around the project which must all be resolved to avoid confusion and even conflict in the future.
Number one, that it was to manage the flood from the Bagre Dam. Technically, it won't do that. Dams don't manage floods. It's dikes that manage floods, not dams. Dam means you just build a wall, you block the water, then you have a pool of water lying at the back. So the more inflow you get, the wider the pool becomes. So you don't really use a dam to manage a flood. Engineering wise, it doesn't make sense. You rather need a dike is a shorter wall that allows water to flow over it in such a way that it will continue with its flow, but it will slow down the flooding process, and then people can now manage within that. So that argument is flawed. But to say it's going to manage, no. It's going to dislocate more and flood more. Even when we confronted the engineers, they say, yeah, that is true. That's what happens. They need to have an irrigation system. The irrigable land for the agricultural purpose is for the overlord is the Nairi in Nalergo. He's prepared to cede portion of it for people to settle rather than pay them compensation, because the issue of payment of compensation for land was also very complicated. You need a valuer, you need a lawyer, you need and the paperwork and so on, and by the time you know, you are paid some pittance.
What is clear is that government agencies like the Volta River Authority, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Ghana Irrigation Development Authority have engaged in many stakeholders' meetings and held dialogues with community members and their leaders to discuss issues of compensation for lands that will be claimed as part of construction of the dam. However, one major hurdle that the government is facing is the issue of resettling people who are currently living in the areas where the dam's reservoir will cover.
Understanding was that areas that are dislocated can relocate in the farming area and provide their services, or acquire parcels there on their own. And this is very complicated. You have different traditional systems being brought on board. You have the Nairi with his kingship. Then we have here family and clan owners of lands and so on and so forth. So it becomes very complicated.
One of such areas is the Gubio community, also a farming area in the West Mamprusi municipality of the Northeast region. The whole of this community is likely to be resettled because the area will be covered by the reservoir of the Pwalugu multipurpose dam. The chief here is not against the construction of the dam, but he has some concerns. He spoke to Joy News through an interpreter.
The chief says that he has never seen something like this. There were some delegates that came, or some officials that came, and promised them that there is going to be compensation as to whatever they will be losing here. They are going to compensate them. And up to now, they haven't heard anything. They even took pictures, and then they measured their farms. And up to now, they haven't heard anything. So all these things should be done before the resettlement or the building of, the construction of the dam.
The people of Gubio also had similar concerns.
If it happened and then they advocate the people of Gubio here, I think it will affect most of the students in Gubio here, because the time that they would take to put up a building or a structure for the students to start schooling again in where they are sending us to, it will be difficult for most of the students. So I think this project, it will help, but sometimes too, it won't help.
That is from this community. They support their husbands during the wet season or the farming season. They support them to do all the farming activities. So now, when they live here, they will not be able to have a plus of farms again. And once that is going to happen, then they will die of hunger. There will not be land for them to farm. He is appealing that they should do something about it.
Another major issue surrounding the Pwalugu multipurpose dam project is that the people of Pwalugu feel somehow shortchanged now that certain realities about the project are coming to light. For instance, the project has been named after their town, but none of its components will be located in Pwalugu. This was not made clear to them in the very beginning.
Upstream there, the reservoir will be there. Downstream, they were talking of solar systems. And the solar system, all of these things we are hearing of, understand, are going to be in the northeast. Not all the components are going to the northeast. No component is coming here to what we are hearing. When they came and we asked them, so what actually is coming here? They said the authorities, they are not privy to that.
Also, the people of Pwalugu had hoped that the irrigation component of the dam will at least come to them. But they are told that will not be possible. They said they then asked for canals from the dam to their community so that at least they could irrigate the farmlands they have on the other side of the community away from the White Volta Basin. But that too, they have been told, will not make engineering sense, and that rather, upon completion of the dam, the farmers of Pwalugu may now have to go to Kurugu or Sariba to do their dry season farming, because the lands they have around the White Volta Basin will be claimed. This, for the farmers here in Pwalugu, is not exactly ideal.
And if you look at it, it is not easy for a stranger to go to a strange land and then get land there. There will be problems. You see, so we were thinking that the canals should spread within our enclave, so that we have land, still have land, so that if the canals spread to our areas, we can also irrigate our lands here. But everything is directed to the northeast. So in effect, we are at a loss.
The major factor that will determine the success or failure of the Pwalugu multipurpose dam project is the issue of funding. The government of Ghana is the sole financier of the project, and this, Professor Miller believes, puts the government in a very difficult situation.
Unless you find a dedicated donor who will embark on it and run with it. But if you are going to sit back and count on GOG, that will happen this year, because this year's budget has been done and the supplementary and reviews have all been done. Next year, it's not possible. The World Bank will be sitting in, and if we see the cost of this project, you convert it to cedis, you can't even pronounce the figures anymore. So it just wouldn't happen, because we'll be struggling to recover. The economy will be struggling to recover. So you don't burden the economy more in its recovery.
So, with all these bottlenecks, can the Pwalugu multipurpose dam project be realized anytime soon?
The people in the upper region and also the northeast region should disabuse their minds that it will happen now. They should not forget, they should suspend the dreams of the dam happening now. But it's something that is necessary, that should happen. Only that the timing now is unfortunate. Even to get a donor will be a problem. You know, the investor confidence is waning. So even now to look for an investor that will come and put so many $1 billion in a dam is a very tricky thing. Whom are you going to speak to?
Joy News contacted the Upper East Regional Minister, Stephen Yakubu, for an update on the progress of work on the Pwalugu multipurpose dam project. He declined a recorded interview on the grounds that the president, during his most recent visit to the region, commented on the project and that he, the regional minister, considered the president's words as the final say. We have double-checked the interview and speeches made by the president during that visit, and there is no record of a specific comment on this multipurpose dam project. What President Akufo-Addo did say during that visit was that his government hoped to complete all projects that have been initiated in the region by the time he leaves office. For now, based on the facts we have gathered on the ground, it looks almost certain that the Pwalugu multipurpose dam project cannot be completed within the announced timeline, which has just about 20 months left to elapse. Albert Sorry, Joy News, Pwalugu, Upper East Region.
Morning Show.
Depressing. All right, listen, we need to talk about this. When we come back, the consultant on the Pwalugu multipurpose dam project, Professor David Miller, joins us alongside Bismarck Adongo, who is the executive director of the Northern Patriots in Research and Advocacy. Got a lot to say about this. And we're also going to hear from Dr. Charles Abugri, former CEO of the Savannah Accelerated Development Authority. We need to talk about this after these messages.
They say that home is where the heart is. Imagine your heart finally settling. Finally saying, Mikasa is Sukasa with pride and confidence, knowing this time it is really Sukasa. The CalBank Mortgage offering you the home purchase where a house is purchased for you outright. The developer or home completion where the property being purchased is partially done to give you the chance to complete it in your style. The equity release where the value of your existing property is given to you as loan for your personal needs, and the refinancing where CalBank takes over your mortgage from other financial institutions. The terms are so flexible. Get a home and call it Mikasa. Call toll free on 0800 500 500. Live chat on our website or social media. Email us at mortgage@calbank.net. CalBank, forward together. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, welcome back to work.
Charlie, thanks, bro. Thanks, bro.
Malaria really knocked you down, eh?
Charlie, no joke. Hey. Fever, headache, vomiting, loss of appetite. I couldn't even eat my usual fufu.
You and fufu?
How we go do it?
I hope you got tested before the malaria treatment.
Oh, yes, I did. And thanks to Malatu, I kicked out malaria one time.
Sharp. Anyway, sorry to ruin your excitement, but your boss asked of you.
Okay.
She says she has plenty work for you.
No problem, Charlie. Strength day.
You see,
When malaria strikes, take Malatu, containing Artemether and Lumefantrine. Comes in tablets and suspension for the effective treatment of malaria in adults and children. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Malatu is manufactured and distributed by Ernest Chemists Limited. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
I've been everywhere and anywhere I go, I see
Fortune rice. It needs just a little water. The grains don't stick and the aroma and taste are delicious. Fortune rice, always on point, just like mom.
Now introducing Fortune Emuka, your tasty Ghana rice for all your rice meals.
This advert is FDA approved.
Just like mom.
Whatever it is, make it MasterCard. Switch to card for all your payments. Make it MasterCard when creating memories with those you love. Make it MasterCard when streaming your favorite music album or TV series. Make it MasterCard when doing your usual supermarket run, in-store or online. When filling up your tank for a thrilling road trip, make it MasterCard, the safe and convenient way to pay. MasterCard. Priceless.
When the world looks at my child, they just see an energetic 8-year-old. But I see more. My Lucy is going to become captain of her school volleyball team, keep excelling in class, and do great things one day. I see a champion. So when I give her Milo with her breakfast every day, it's all part of waking up the champion in her.
Don't just wake up your child, wake up the champion in her. Let Milo with Active Go and the natural goodness of malt, milk, and cocoa help wake up the champion in your child every day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo!
This advert is FDA approved.
We know the dream is big. We know the passion gets you going, and you have the potential to make great strides. The Chartered Institute of Marketing, Ghana, has always been an avid supporter of industry excellence and innovation. This is why we are excited to announce the CIMG Professional Marketing Qualifications. CIMG has designed practical courses to help you make that dream a reality right here in Ghana. We are geared up and ready to support you on this journey to becoming a world-class professional marketer. Register today and be on your way to greatness. For more information, call us on 055-274-6592. Visit our website www.cimghana.org or email us on info@cimghana.org. Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, working for Ghana.
Are you covered? In fact, how much do you know about motor insurance? Do you know exactly what it takes to make sure that your car is all-round covered the way it really needs to be? To make the right choice when choosing a motor insurance policy, you need to talk to the right people. Dunwell Insurance offers competitive rates and a choice of covers ranging from third-party cover, third-party fire and theft cover to comprehensive cover. At Dunwell Insurance, we delight in paying personal attention to our esteemed customers and ensure prompt payment of claims. So if you didn't know, now you know. Dunwell Insurance. If it must be done, it must be done well.
Imagine say water wake up at dawn, bath, chop, where it vanish for your area for 2 weeks. You not get one drop safe inside your tank.
Hey.
Haja, our life was in dangerous. Only our neighbor get water with water tank.
Water tank?
Yes, water tank. Mamma mia, that water tank get meter for checking water level. That water tank be fine past Kumasi Selendion. That water tank be tough like Ghana Army. That water tank, they carry water pepe, so say some no go left inside the supply tank. What a tank! That's my boss, Mr. Poncho go talk.
Beautiful, durable, with water level indicator and accurate volume of water. Water tank. What a tank! By Duraplast.
Football kukuda mene ni ede ba ofie. Go TV adarumanti. Jojo wo ofie na je o city fi say. Go TV the leagues and the cup competitions e bonson. Ebre wo Super Sports so. Hwesenia Premier League, Serie A, La Liga, Europa, and the FA Cup nyina be koso wo den. Twen na the FIFA World Cup no so be pi so. Better football day here. Je wo Go TV decoder. 89 Ghana cedis per. Na hwe football kukuda season fufuro. Go TV. Love it.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
You're welcome back. It's the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM, and I'm sure you've heard A Dam of Promises, the Hotline documentary produced by the Joy News team, particularly Albert Sorry, our Northeast regional correspondent. And I've got to tell you, it made for depressing listening. The Pwalugu Dam, touted as the solution to all kinds of problems, from irrigation to generation of power, to the end of flooding and the damage caused by flooding in the northern most regions of this country. None of it has been done. Well, in fact, none of it is being done, is what I should say. None of it is being done from the checks made by Joy News. And what does this mean for the people of that area? We're about to have a conversation with Professor David Miller, who's a consultant on the project, Dr. Charles Abugri, former CEO of the Savannah Accelerated Development Authority, Mr. Bismarck Adongo, Executive Director of the Northern Patriots in Research and Advocacy. We're going to hear from them shortly. But first, to the die-hard fan, the 12th man, that faithful and proud fan, meet the Kia K5, the award-winning vehicle that gives you power and space to stand out and take the lead. Today, it is your ticket to Qatar. With the purchase of any Kia vehicle, get the chance of winning 1 out of 10 full package trips to the FIFA World Cup 2022. Whatever kind of fan you are, there is a Kia for you. Visit any Rana Motors showroom in Accra, Tema, Spintex Road, Kumasi, or Takrady, or call 0249 111 444 for more information. This promotion is supported by Adidas, Coca-Cola, Qatar Airways, Caveman, and it's running on the NLA Caritas lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply. Kia, movement that inspires.
And getting cash on the go from an ABSA ATM is now so easy, even when you do not have your contactless ABSA debit card with you. For the first time in Ghana, you can withdraw money from any ABSA ATM with the ABSA mobile banking app using a QR code. It is easy, safe, and convenient. Simply open your ABSA mobile app, select ATM QR cash to scan the QR code on the ATM screen. Follow the prompts and get your cash out. It's that easy. That's another digital innovation that gets things done. That's Africanacity. That's ABSA. Download the ABSA mobile banking app now to get started, or visit the nearest ABSA branch to sign up.
Okay, have you registered your Surfline numbers yet? In line with the National Communications Authority's directive to get all SIM cards re-registered, Surfline has demarcated special registration points close to your community to help you register your MiFis and routers. You can also visit any Surfline shop near you to register with your Ghana card. Remember, no registration, no service. Register your Surfline numbers today to avoid disconnection. Surfline, better together.
And need to make an urgent call but realize you don't have credits, or your very important conversation was cut short because you ran out of airtime. Well, there's no need for all that stress, because on all you have to do really is on your MTN is to dial *506# and you get to borrow credit on MTN extra time. The best part is you can also borrow data by dialing the same number *506#, and you can bundle data whenever you run out to continue browsing as always. Your conversations don't need to end. Borrow extra time now and enjoy the things you love on your favorite network, MTN.
Okay, right. Let's get to it. If you were with us and you heard the Hotline documentary, all the details were laid out. The various communities in which this project is to be implemented. Checks show that nothing is happening in any of these communities on any phase of this project. And we are in the third of a 4-year project. It's not even started. But promises were made by the president that this project will be executed in 4 years. Let's talk to Professor David Miller. He's a consultant on the Pwalugu Multipurpose Dam Project. We're joined also by Bismarck Adongo, who is the Executive Director of the Northern Patriots in Research and Advocacy. Good morning to you both. Hello, good morning to you both.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you both very much for joining us. I would like to start with Professor Miller, if I can. Prof, one of the things you said that was very instrumental, in fact, quite pivotal, in this documentary is that actually this dam will not solve the flooding problem. If anything, it will make it worse. Right? Do we have Professor Miller on the line? Okay, let's bring in Bismarck Adongo. Mr. Adongo, I hope you can hear me.
Dropped.
Hi, do we have Mr. Bismarck Adongo?
Here.
Okay, that line is not great. Listen, let's take a few messages. When we come back, we're going to fix that line so we can hear from our guests.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the...
The Infantapim Old Boys Association, MOBA, presents the 7th edition of the MOBA Annual Engagement Series at the EcoBank Head Office Auditorium, Reach, on Wednesday, 28th September 2022 at 5 p.m. Theme, Yen Nananong Botaipa, producing graduates fit for the 4th Industrial Revolution, with emphasis on content, human resource, infrastructure, and finance. Panelists, Professor Franklin Menu, former Rector, GIMPA, Richard Lai, Headmaster, Morgan Community International School, Kwamina Esiofibura, Founder and Head, the Christ Church School, Engineer Vincent Kwame Osei Apia, District Engineer, UCG Ghana, Moderator, Sulemana Abubakar, CEO, General Electric Ghana, Sponsor, EcoBank Ghana Limited, Media Partners, Joy FM, Joy News, Joy Prime, Hits FM, Adom FM, Adom TV, Asampa FM, and Graphic Communications Group Limited. For further information, call 050-318-6258 or 024-317-7333. MOBA, Gin Shekan.
Hey, Bra Kofi, your ceiling be smooth, bright and fine, Papa.
That's an understatement. It dey blink like 80 carats white gold. This be Interface plasterboard ceilings. Smooth, bright, and long-lasting. Everybody where they come here, they fill up. Where they direct them go Interface Limited for world-class quality.
If you're involved in new property development, renovation, or decoration, the right place for you is Interface Limited. Call us on 0274-999999 or visit our website at
www.interfacelimited.net. Facebook, Interface Limited GH. Instagram, interface.limited.
The 7th EMY Africa Awards.
Morning Show. You're welcome back. On the lines, joining us right now, Dr. Miller is a consultant on the Pwalugu Multipurpose Dam Project. Bismarck Adongo is the executive director of the Northern Patriots in Research and Advocacy. I hope you can both hear me. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning, and good morning to your cherished listeners.
That's wonderful. I can hear you both very clearly now. So, Prof. Miller, I'd wanted to start with you on the question of the dam and the fact that it will not be the solution to flooding of the Bagre Dam. This will actually make flooding worse in the area. Am I right?
You are very right.
Tell us how is that even possible? We've all been made to believe that this is the solution we're waiting for to this perennial flooding in the northern parts of the country.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to share. Basically, if you look at water engineering, when you have floods and you want to control floods, you use dikes, not dams. You know, literally, dam is a wall that blocks the flow of water. Even where there is no flood, if you want to create a dam, you just build a wall. Once it's a low-lying area and the contours are right, you collect water. So basically, that is what the dam will do. The wall will be there. It will start collecting water. Now, this water has two ways of manifesting itself. First, there will be a backflow that will gradually build up maybe over 4 or 5 years. But worse still is that the wall will be sitting at Kojo, which is over 100 kilometers away from Bagre. So the mischief will not be cured with that solution. There will first be a flood increase flooding. In fact, Bagri will not be allowed to flow freely. Therefore, the backlog of water will keep rising. The one you are going to manage is the water after the wall. Are you with me?
Yeah, I get it.
Because the water after the wall is going to be channeled into a 25,000 hectare irrigation plot, which is that one can be managed. So there will be no flooding after the wall. But before the wall, there will be flooding. Also, after you have used that water for irrigation, the excess water that you'll be spilling at the end of the irrigation landscape might also lead to another downstream flooding.
So, Prof. Miller,
this is a sketch of what would happen when you use a wall to control a flood.
Right. Prof.
In
Miller,
any case, that dam wall.
You are a member of the team that did this, that did consultation on this project. Did you express this, expert opinion to those who are doing this project, and why is it that we keep hearing them say that it will solve the flooding? If you have expressed this view to them,
I think it is an error in communication, which is called redundancy. You said something so often that you begin to realize it is a reality. You don't think through it anymore. So it has been echoed so often. But I must say I wasn't party to the design.
Right.
I only went there as a consultant to look at the environmental impact assessment and stakeholder concerns.
Right.
And based on my technical background in agriculture and water management, I'm a Dutch-trained agriculturist. And the Dutch normally manage water anyway. Otherwise, Holland wouldn't be there. So I've learned water management systems. And I'm adding that even this dam wall that we are going to erect at Kojo will have a spillway, won't it? The design has a spillway. So it is anticipated there will come a time that there will be a need to spill even Kojo Dam or Pwalugu Dam for a matter of consistency. It will have to spill. And the way the rainfall patterns are, I think we should water down that element of controlling the floods. Because technically that is a no-go area. But emphasize the agricultural impact, which will result from managing the wall after the water after the wall and using it for 25,000 hectare irrigation, year-round production. For me, that's a massive impact.
Right.
And also there is built in a design to have a 30,000 population water supply to Walwale.
Yeah.
Which can also be realized. So that is what the design is. And also the generation of power could be done later. The recent events in Buki shows that they can do solar panel on top of the water. You build solar panels on the water, on the dam water surface, and generate your power. In any case, the initial dam wall has been reduced. So the anticipated hydropower delivery has been lowered.
So we can no longer get the 60.
Yeah, we can get some electricity, but I think the best bet is to look at building solar panels on the surface of the water that will be collected.
Okay.
Eventually, you get to the power bit. So if you ask me to prioritize, I'll go agricultural irrigation first. Then I would talk about the flood management, which I say is only in between the two flooding zones, and then the solar comes third.
Well, Prof, I mean, having listened to the documentary and hearing the progress or lack of it on the ground, does it seem to you that this was a project that was thought through properly by government before it was initiated?
Yeah, it's been thought through by successive governments. Let me establish this. For me, the credit doesn't go to MPP. It starts as far back as CPP in Nkrumah's time, and it rolled over several governance regimes till MPP. Now, the initial design was supposed to be Pwalugu. The original, if you go to the original documents, the dam site was supposed to be located in Pwalugu. But the enhanced engineering showed that it's better placed in Kudugu. And I've visited there a couple of times. And ideally, it's a good place for a dam. In fact, strategically well placed than Pwalugu in terms of engineering.
Right.
You see. So there have been successive attempts at enhancing the design. It doesn't exclude the fact that there will be faults again, and that is engineering.
Right.
There's always a 10% probability that at the end of the day, even with the most advanced aircrafts, they still crash.
All right, I want to bring in Dr. Charles Aboagye at this point. Dr. Aboagye is the former CEO of the Savannah Accelerated Development Authority. Dr. Aboagye, as I understand it, you actually led on the creation of the initial plan for this Bagre Dam project. So let me ask you, do you think that the current plan fits into the initial concept that you led?
Well, first, just a quick correction. I didn't lead that whole process. When I became SADA CEO, the conversation, SADA was co-chairing with VRA, the committee for the revival of the Pwalugu multipurpose dam. So I took over co-chairing that. So I did have some knowledge of the process until when the vice president made a commitment in Tamale that the dam will be constructed and the cost was revised. Just some very quick things to follow up on Professor Miller's point. First and foremost, the engineering work was led by Tractable. Tractable is a very famous, recognized, experienced engineering firm. They were given a task to balance three things. One, for flood control. Second, for hydropower. And third, for irrigation. The revision of the design that Professor Miller mentioned, the reduction of the dam wall, was basically to reduce the amount of flooding, which was a point raised by the early affairs environmental impact assessment on the matter. So the redesign was to reduce the flooding, to reduce the amount of flooding, so that you could but secondly, in doing so, it meant we had to sacrifice some electricity. The final design did include solar anyway. There's a 40 megawatt solar plant that is built into the current design. I am not an engineer to tell whether the design for flood control was wrong, but Tractable responsibility. It was overseen by the World Bank also, and the whole series of entities that was involved in this. So I'm convinced that they did a good job on factoring in the flood control side of it. And the VRA and Tractable are probably better positioned to do this. I think the second thing about the flooding is that we need to be clear that the Pwalugu Dam was a first defense, not a total defense. Come again.
And not a total defense.
Should I continue?
Yes, please continue.
Yes. So the Pwalugu Dam was a first defense. I mean, it's only on the White Volta. And there are right down, more downstream, the upstream, the dam around the Salga side. there's another dam that was designed also to uptake the water from that part of the White Volta. And it's not designed to deal with the Black Volta and so on. So let's be very clear about that. There are other subsequent dams that were designed. So it's a part of a whole. The Sicily Kulpon area has another dam. So the idea, and during the SADA period, we oversaw we ensured that the initial pre-feasibility studies were completed for all dams going forward. So I think that I believe in what Tractor Bell design was, because it was reviewed on the flood control side. But I think there are other things which are a bit worrying at the moment for some of us who have been behind pushing this dam. As your documentary may have shown, work has stopped, but money has been spent, and it's important to find out just how much money has been spent so far on this dam. Information on this is very, very thin. Secondly, the Northern Development Forum, various entities have tried to find out what exactly is the source of financing for this dam. Is it a government of Ghana financing? Is it a facility separate for that? Given the revision of the cost of the dam from what we were dealing with when I left, which was around $650 million, to about $1 billion. So the financing of the dam is not clear. It would be very helpful for the government of Ghana to clarify, where is this dam going to be financed from, and why has it been financed from to date until work stops, and how much has it cost so far? So that transparency question is absolutely critical for the future of the dam. But I have no doubt that about the value of the dam, not only for irrigation and for a bit of hydropower, but also for the first defense in flood management on the White Volta.
Dr. Aboagye, two things for me. Where was the funding going to come from when you were co-chairing?
Okay, so in our day, we were, first and foremost, the World Bank had expressed an interest. In fact, the revival of the dam idea was on the behest of a water engineer at that time at the World Bank country office, an Italian chap, who said that the most feasible dam at this time and also the most transformational dam was the Pwalugu Dam. So we were working at ensuring that the current IDA allocation to Ghana from the World Bank, that about 100 million of it will go into the dam. So the World Bank will contribute to it. Secondly, the dam, the feasibility studies were actually funded by the French, Agence Française de Développement, AFD. And AFD certainly was financing it because they had an interest in the feasibility side, because they had an interest in financing it. And then thirdly, of course, you have to raise a facility on the back of two potentially soft loans, which is from the World Bank, AFD, and others. Conversations had also been started with the European Investment Bank. The idea was to have a consortium of funding. And of course, the Chinese sources are also important sources. But with a consortium of funding led by the World Bank, we were going to be sure that although things might be slower, but the quality of delivery would have been stronger because there are a lot more, entities interested in it, and so on. And so yes, there was a process of dealing with that financing, starting with the critical point of soft lending from the IMF, from the World Bank, and also then from AFD, because it's also a development finance institution. That becomes the bedrock for raising additional funds. So a basket funding approach.
So you're saying, Dr. Aboagye, that even at the time when you were involved in this project, you had not secured funding properly so-called for it?
No, because we were reviewing the feasibility study. You remember the point that Professor Miller said, which is that the initial interest by VRA to maximize electricity led to the design creating a very high wall. But if we went for maximizing electricity, it meant you had to flag a lot of land in the Upper East. So the environmental impact assessment suggested to us view it. So let me finish this. And so, therefore, Tractable had to go back to the drawing board. And Tractable delivered their final report in 2017. So you could not have finalized the financing of the bank until the total final feasibility study was available.
Right.
But the conversations about about the consortium of financing had begun in 2016 on the back of the first full feasibility report presented by Tractable.
Dr. Aboagye, if you go to the site of the VRA and check the updates on this project, they say that funding is to be provided from the government of Ghana. If government of Ghana is providing funding for this, are you in any doubt that...
I am in many doubts. First and foremost, it's too big a project for the government of Ghana to deal with. It will take several years to be able to save money from the government of Ghana budget to do this. It has to be a facility or set of facilities. Secondly, in the middle of an IMF agreement and the prospect of a drastic cutting of public expenditure, unless there is a debt relief package to go with it, I can't see how the government of Ghana can afford $1 billion to finance the Pwalugu multipurpose dam.
All right. I want to bring in our third guest, and that's in the person of Bismarck Adongo, who is the Executive Director of Northern Patriots in Research and Advocacy. This is a think tank in the northern part of the country. So, Mr. Adongo, let's talk about the impact or lack of it of this project's, non-existent progress. At the moment, there doesn't seem to be anything being done. How does this impact or fail to impact the people of the communities that are supposed to be benefiting?
Thank you very much for this fine opportunity. And I say good morning to my two uncles and my lecturer, Prof. Miller, my uncle, Charles Abore. Anytime discussions come up for Pwalugu multipurpose dam, I feel very bad. I feel very bad because the signs are clear that communities and people of northern Ghana who were hoping that their lives would be greatly impacted positively by the construction of this multipurpose dam will be dashed. If you look at the northern Savannah ecological zone, there is publicly available data that suggests that over 90% of us depend on agriculture for livelihood. And this is an area that experiences food insecurity. The latest statistics from Ghana Statistical Service says while the national average is around 24 or 30, that of the Upper East, which is the highest, is around 73%. So food insecurity is a serious issue affecting the people of northern Ghana. Meanwhile, statistics available indicate that northern Ghana has about 8 million hectares of agricultural land, and that all existing irrigational infrastructure in the area just operate 1/3 of their capacity and irrigating just 1% of the total of 8 million hectares. in the rainy season, only 15.6% of the 8 million hectares are cropped. So a lot of us, as citizens, as farmers, as communities from that area, were banging our hope on the multipurpose dam because, in our opinion, it had the potential to contribute significantly towards improving water security for sustainable agricultural-led transformation of the area for shared prosperity of all people in Ghana. We are told that northern Ghana alone can produce sufficient food to feed over 50 million people. And in this country, we are talking about 30.8 million people. So if we concentrate on northern Ghana alone, the whole country will have food security. So to now be getting the information that this is not going to be realized is something that we are heavily disappointed and frustrated. And you see, when the whole country was in Pwalugu, because the president, his ministers, the vice president, everybody was there. A lot of us were excited. And when government said it was going to fund it from government of Ghana's purse, we got more excited because we know that this country, the money is really there. If only we prioritize it. Because it is a strategic national development project that will really unlock the huge development potential, particularly the agricultural one in northern Ghana, for the benefit of the entire country. If you look at the 2022 budget, some monies have been allocated to it. Whether it is released, it is disbursed, and it is used is something that we need to track, as Uncle Charles Aburi said. Over 26 million Ghana cedis stated in the 2022 budget for Pwalugu multipurpose dam. And today you get to the site and you cannot see a single worker, you can't see pickers, you can't see shovel. The contractor, no work is going on. So we think that as people who were yearning, who were dreaming of having a dam that will make significant contribution to agriculture, increase agricultural productivity, improve food security, and improve livelihoods of the people, I think a lot of us have been disappointed because government has not prioritized this project. So, for us, we think we need to mobilize and still ask the questions. And I think there is something that government is not telling us. But for all that long, all that we've been hearing is Pwalugu multipurpose dam, and all of a sudden, things have changed. I must state that no one is against whichever part of northern Ghana this project will be, because in our view, it is a national project. And somebody once said that if you want to deny northern Ghana or the people of northern Ghana an important thing, just give it to them to go and share among themselves. You can be sure that they will quarrel among themselves and then bring it back. So whether it is going to supply northeast, northwest, upper east, wherever, that is not the issue.
Right.
The issue is that we want the project to come to fruition. We want the 8 million hectares of agricultural land that is available in northern Ghana that can produce food for the entire country and beyond. We want that to happen. Okay. And I think that government has no excuse to deny the people of this strategic national project after raising our hopes and making us believe in him or in government that this will come to fruition. What we are hearing, the people of northern Ghana, particularly farmers, women, and young people, will have to press more for more questions.
Mr. Adongo, I'm wondering, this is how I would like us to wrap up, if we can. If you just joined us, by the way, we've just listened to A Dam of Promises, a hotline documentary by Albert Sori and the Joy News team, where we tracked the progress of the Pwalugu Dam, the multipurpose dam, which was supposed to solve problems of irrigation, water supply, electricity supply, and flooding. but as it turns out, there's no progress. We are in the third of a 4-year project. Okay, now let's clarify a few things before I ask my final question. Parliament actually approved $895 million for this project 3 years ago. Okay, so it's not a matter of parliamentary approval. It's not a matter of a lack of funding. Funding was sourced in an EPC turnkey project contract agreement with Power China International Group Limited. Okay, so the funding was sourced. Allocation is what appears not to have happened. Allocation of these funds appears to have not happened for 3 years. So my question to you, Mr. Adongo, we're 3 years in, nothing has been allocated, no progress is going on any of the sites. Do you have any expectation that the Pwalugu Dam will be constructed?
The Kojo multipurpose dam will be constructed or not constructed will depend on the commitment of the government and the demand of the citizens. Already, government has demonstrated that it is not going to match talk with action. And that once there is evidence that there is money made available, government certainly has no excuse for not making this happen. So I think in these days, they say development is demand-driven. The people of Northern Ghana and the people of Ghana as a whole, we need to be asking the questions. We need to demand responsiveness and accountability of the government so far as this project is concerned. Because we don't understand why all of a sudden nothing is happening at the site. I have personally visited the place, and some of us, when the president was touring the Upper East region and Northeast, we expected the president to make a statement on it, which he disappointed all of us by not making any statement. Meanwhile, at the time of the short-cutting, we're told that this is the highest investment in Northern Ghana that any government of this country has ever made. So we must demand that this project, will not allow failure to happen. This government must do whatever that it has to do to ensure that this project comes to fruition. Because there is money made available. Whoever is keeping the money, whatever is happening to the money, this project must be a priority of priorities. And once it becomes a priority of priorities, certainly, wherever these resources are, they will have to be released.
Okay, all right. I want to say a big thank you to our guests. Bismarck Adongo is Executive Director of the Northern Research and Advocacy. That's a think tank in the north, and you just heard him speaking there. Before that, you heard one of the only 3 Swansea City fans in this country, Dr. Charles Abugri, former CEO of Savannah Accelerated Development Authority. Please, there are 3 of us, and we stand united. Dr. Charles Abugri is one of them. And Professor David Miller, consultant on the Pwalugu Multipurpose Dam. Thank you all for your time, Jen.